This video will demonstrate use of the Canadian Occupational Performance Measure, also known as COPM. The purpose of this model is to be able to detect change in occupational performance, self-perceived performance specifically over time, as well as it gives the occupational therapist a better understanding of the things that are most important in the client's life, the things that they need to be able to do, the things that they want to do, and the things that they aren't currently able to do. So my client is a 23-year-old female. She was referred to skilled OT after a rotator cuff surgery that left her impaired in shoulder flexion in her right shoulder. Anything above 110 degrees is kind of difficult for her to do. And so while talking to my client, I had her tell me a little bit about certain aspects of her life, like self-care, work, leisure, and we rated all of those activities on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how important they were to her. So some things that she told me that she really needs to be able to do in her daily life are washing her hair, brushing her hair, dressing. Her functional mobility is fine. She sometimes has difficulty reaching for things overhead when it comes to shopping. My client is very active, so she enjoys things like yoga and throwing softball and lifting weights. She also likes painting and photography. For work, she volunteers at a food bank and she works at a nursing home. My client needs to be able to do things like laundry, cooking, cleaning her apartment, and she's also a student, so her school requires her to perform certain lab skills that demonstrate her skills and her competency, so that's also important for her as a student. So the next thing I did after chatting with her a little bit was have her narrow down her 5 most important occupations that she wants to see improvement on in terms of performance as well as satisfaction. So the first thing I had her do after she chose her 5 most important occupations was rate each of them on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how satisfied she currently was with her performance as well as her satisfaction. And in average, her average performance on a scale of 1 to 10 was about a 5.6, and her average satisfaction rating was at about a 5.2. However, once I did a reevaluation on my client, by using this same assessment, I was able to see that her performance rating as well as her satisfaction rating had increased. So when we reevaluated her scores, her performance score was at an 8.4 out of 10, and her satisfaction score had increased to an 8.8 out of 10. So in perceived performance, her score had gone up by 2.8, and in perceived satisfaction, her score had gone up by 3.6 points. So that's an example of how the assessment can be used to demonstrate change in perceived performance as well as satisfaction.